Hi, my name is Tracy, and this is the third in a three-part weekly class that we've been doing. They've been building on each other. Every week I get pretty excited about what I've put together. I am really excited this week. So the last 2 weeks we started with looking at ourselves with some distance and some compassion. In a nutshell, anytime we were in a place of discomfort, observing ourselves like a little baby and developing a sense of realizing that we're just programmed through our life, and that we need to have humor and compassion when we deal with ourselves. Second week, we did the same thing, but with other people. This week, we're going to look at how part of our brain, of our evolution, impacts how we view the world, what our awareness of the world is. The part of the brain that I'm referring to is called the reticular activating system, and I'm going to very modestly describe what it does. It's part of the brainstem, and all of the information that comes in from your body, from your organs, from your senses, filters through this spot. Massive amounts of information. There's no way that we could pay attention to everything that comes in to our to our brain for processing. So the reticular activating system decides what's important and sends it up for further attention. This is great. However, the way it operates is it looks for things that could be potential problems. So anything that's the status quo, it suppresses awareness of that, and we only start to see what are problems or potential problems. Over time, that starts to narrow what it is we feel comfortable experiencing, seeing, and allowing to come into our awareness. So we'll talk about that some more as we move through the class. The approach that we're going to take to bypass the reticular activating system and how it starts to narrow our perception is to lean into our innate knowledge, the knowledge that is available to all of us if we start to focus on it. Another way you might talk about it is intuition. So we're going to lean into that today. Let's go ahead and tune in to get started. Here we go. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale, engage Mulband. Exhale and relax. First thing we're going to do today is Agnisari Kriya, loosely sometimes called breath of fire, but we're going to do it with a little more awareness and precision. What would be great is if you can sit in hero pose or a variation of it. So you're going to put your toes together and sit your bottom back towards your heels. This is great for your knees and the long-term health of knees, hips, ankles. But you got to make sure it doesn't hurt your knees. So you keep getting higher and higher up underneath your bottom until your knees feel fine. And there's some certain conditions where that's never going to happen, so then don't worry about it. Sit any way that feels comfortable. All right, so a lot of you are familiar with breath of fire. We're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to start with our mouths open and tongues out. And the the power for the breath going in, the power for the breath going out is going to come purely from the stomach. So let me give you a shot of what that looks like. So what I'm trying to show you is that my stomach moving out creates the vacuum to draw the breath in, and my stomach pulling back is the power that pushes the breath out. I'll do it from the side as well, in case that helps. If you haven't started along with me, go ahead and start. You can keep going with your tongue out, or if it's okay to do it with your mouth closed, go in and out of your nose. But again, the movement is coming, or the movement of the breath is coming purely from the stomach drawing in, the stomach drawing out. Inhale. Retain the breath in, and lift up on the muscles of the pelvic floor. Great. We're going to come down lying on our left side. You can have a pillow or your arm so that your head is comfortable. Right arm is on the floor in front of you, stability, and both legs are out straight. You're simply going to take your right leg up as high as it'll go and leave it there. Reach out through your right leg as much as you can and keep it straight. That's it. We'll be here for a couple of minutes. I write a little description about class before, to send out beforehand. And in it, I described my own experience with how the brainstem starts to limit my behavior. The example I gave was Fox News, and how watching Fox News puts me into a state of extreme distress. The way I believe that that happens is that over time, over the course of my life, I have developed a set of beliefs about what correct human behavior should include. And when I watch Fox News, there is a spewing of hatred and a desire to create jealousy, anger, hatred in other people that totally throws me off. And it's because I have over time limited my experience and experiences like Fox News to where I don't have them hardly at all. So then when I do have them, I have an unrealistic expectation about life doesn't include those kind of people. So the end result is I am stressed out. I am unhappy because I've limited my view of how the world should be. Okay, we're almost done here. Your leg might be starting to scream a little bit. Great, lower your leg. And then flip around, and we'll do the other side. Exact same thing, make yourself comfortable, resting on the right side this time. Both legs straight, and then take the left leg up as high as it will go, keeping it facing forward, foot facing forward, and then try and lengthen your leg away from your body. And again, we'll just hang out here for a couple of minutes. La la la. Whew, almost there. Great, and then lower your leg. Next position is going to be lying on the stomach. I'm going to flip around this way. Your arms will be alongside your body with your palms facing down just to help you stabilize. Your knees can be wide apart if that feels better. And we'll just alternately kick our heels towards our bottom. You're trying to get the fullest range of motion that you can, so your heels might reach all the way to your bottom. And if you get going a little bit faster, it starts to be like having a tantrum. Great, inhale and exhale. Put your hands under your shoulders to push yourself up. The next one we did last week or the week before, and we're doing it's lion's pose. And when we did it before, we included it in the set because it's a great immune system booster. It especially helps to work on the thyroid, the lymph nodes in the throat, the tonsils. We're going to use it for also for unblocking energy blocks. So take your knees as wide as they'll go. If you want, you can sit in a chair. Typically, it's done with the fingers pointing in towards the body, but again, you got to find out what's going to work for you. We're going to start to feel energy moving upwards through the spine. And part of how that's going to happen is you get as big an arch in your back as you can. You continue that arch through your neck, and then your eyes are going to gaze up the whole time. Eyes are open, and you can look at a spot on the upper part of the wall or on the ceiling. Inhale and bring your tongue as far up along the roof of the mouth as it will go, to where it's up and back. When you're ready to exhale, stick your tongue out and down and waggle it side to side. Inhale, tongue comes up and back. When you're ready to exhale, extend out and down, waggle the tongue, and feel the vibration of the sound you make in your throat. One more like that. Great. Now you might have to shift your position just a little bit. We're going to bow forward in this same position. If you're in a chair, you simply drop your head down towards your knees. So we'll inhale and exhale. Inhale, eyes roll up. Exhale, try not to lick your mat. Great, inhale up, eyes roll up, lift up on the muscles of the pelvic floor, exhale, relax. All right, back to the stomach. And again, this is similar to one that we did in the last couple of weeks. We'll be using it to move energy blocks, move the energy in a particular way in our body. And in addition, it's another one that's great for the immune system and the lungs. It pushes stagnant air out of the lowest part of the lungs. So you want to have your belly, the main force of the posture, the main weight and balance point of the posture is going to be on your stomach. Your hands are going to be working as little as they possibly can. So you might be able to take your hands off the floor altogether, or you might need them to just lightly help you balance. And you'll definitely feel that pressure, like sort of in the solar plexus area from having the abdominal organs pushing up into your diaphragm. All right, so we're going to add alternately kicking the heels as well. Your spinal muscles are having to work to keep you up. Great, inhale. Exhale, relax. All right, bend both your knees. You're gonna keep them bent the whole time. Put your hands in whatever position is gonna be the easiest for you to do little baby push-ups into Sphinx pose. So in this back bending version of Cobra or Sphinx, you're not using your back muscles, or you're using them as little as possible. So the arms are working. Inhale up, exhale down. We're going to use Shambhavi Mudra, so where the eyes look up, and feel like the eyes looking up are part of the arching of your spine. So as you come up, there's pressure in the lower 3 chakras, and then the arching of the spine and the engagement of the eyes. You can do the same thing with the tongue, bringing it as far up and back as you can, further directing the energy up towards the top of the head or the top back of the head. Just a few more. Inhale up, hold yourself up. Squeeze root lock, engage the eyes. Exhale, relax. All right, so this next one, I can't do the fullest version of the pose. I'll describe it to you. I'll do a little modification of that, and then you're gonna need to find what modification is gonna work for you for doing it. So it's sort of like a platform or plank pose where you're on the tops of your feet, not the toes are not tucked under. And you're up on your fingertips. So that's the part I can't do. So we'll be here with the belly pulled away from the floor. Not, I don't mean like sucking your stomach in, I mean engaging the entirety of your midsection to draw it away from the ground. So we're gonna be here for a little while. So there's some alternate ways to do it. Come onto your knees. You might be able to do forearms and tops of feet. Forearms and knees. You might want to engage and release. Engage and release. Whichever version you're doing, keep concentrating on being as long as you can through the whole of your body. This posture is for our brains. It's a brain tonic. Rejuvenates the gray matter of the brain. Helps the cerebral spinal fluid. It's supposedly good for wrinkles. Whatever modified version you adopt, Think about the benefits of the pose, that those benefits are happening, and visualize yourself doing the pose up on the tops of your feet and on your fingertips. Great, drop the knees. If you probably just come onto your back and relax. If you are a very flexible person, you can be sitting on your knees and coming back and relaxing on your back for just a little bit. Whichever one you would prefer. Whichever one you're in, imagine that you're taking a little tiny nap. Keep relaxing for a little bit longer. If you're in the version with your knees bent, you might want to go ahead and come into laying out on your back. This is the end of the physical part of the set. It's to combat old age, mental deterioration, and spiritual instability. Good, and then rock along your spine to come upright, or roll over to your side and come upright. We're gonna do pranayama. The first part of the pranayama is probably gonna be familiar. And you can simply close your right nostril. We're gonna breathe in and out through the left nostrils only for a little bit. Actually, for 10 rounds. I'll keep track, or you can keep track if you want. In left, out left. In left, out left. So we're getting ourselves into the rhythm of pranayama. You want to let your body move towards doing a yogic breath where the inhale is like an undulation, expanding through the stomach, through the rib cage, through the upper chest, and that reverses on the way out. It's smooth, steady, relaxed, comfortable. After the next exhale, switch your hands. We'll do the exact same thing. Inhale right. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale right. And now you're going to start to get a rhythm to your breathing. This is a great practice to get good at for a lot of different meditation and pranayama techniques. So you want to start to be able to count out your breath in 1 second intervals. So that might be like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Great. Switch your hands back to left side only. And we're going to make our inhale half as long as the exhale. So it'll be more like inhale 2, 3, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Find a rhythm that you can do, 3-to-6 ratio, 4-to-8 ratio, that you can do feeling totally relaxed. In a lot of these pranayama practices, I talk about staying relaxed and not introducing tension into the system. There's several reasons for that. One is because it's actually counterproductive. And two is we're starting to soothe our nervous system, preparing it for meditation. And if we're struggling, straining, efforting, that shifts us back more into being aware of our body, of discomforts, of problems, of stress. After the next exhale, switch so that you're breathing in and out of the right nostril. And again, that inhale is half the length of the exhale. Counting can help you stay focused on your breath. It's easy to start to speed up the pace. Stick with being about 1 second per each count. Relax the breath. If you ever want to do that practice on your own, it's 10 repetitions on each side. First with the breath at equal lengths, and then with the inhale being half the length of the exhale. Okay, the next is a combination meditation pranayama, and you'll be familiar with it to some extent from when we do a japa. So usually that's this idea that we're breathing in and we feel the energy channel move up to the throat as we mentally chant so on the inhale and hum on the exhale. So we're going to do a variation on that where the movement that we're focusing on goes from the tip of the nose up to the 6th chakra trigger point here between the eyebrows. So we'll be inhaling and feeling energy move from the tip of the nose up to just above the line of the eyebrows, and we'll mentally chant so. And on the exhale, you're going to feel energy, you might visualize energy, move it from that spot down to the tip of the nose. Great. So just a short explanation. The first chakra and the 6th chakra are related, interrelate, in that the power for opening and activating the 6th chakra comes from the first. The tip of the nose is thought of as a reflex spot for the first chakra, with the line of the nose mirroring the spinal column, and then the Kestrum 4 Ajna chakra here, representing the 6th chakra. So if you would like to bump this up to the next level, go ahead and sit in Siddhasana, where you have one of your heels pressed into the first chakra. So your heel is behind your genitals and in front of the rectum. The other leg can be stacked on top of the first. It can just be brought into the body, or you can even have it out to the side. The key here is to have your heel just below the first chakra, which is at the level of the prostate for men, the cervix for women, so you want to find a spot just below that. And you've got a little bit of body weight pushing down into your heel. You can mitigate that by propping your hips up if you like. So we are going to be simultaneously stimulating the first chakra and the 6th with the practice. So we'll start together, focusing towards the tip of the nose. You could even have your eyes slightly open, gazing towards the tip of the nose. And then as you inhale, mentally chant so, and trace a line of energy up the nose to the spot between the eyebrows. And if you like, your eyes can gaze towards that spot. Exhale, trace the line back down the tip of your nose as you mentally chant hum. Inhale, so. Tracing energy from the tip of the nose to the spot between the eyebrows. Exhale, reversing that hum. Noticing that the natural sound of the inhale mirrors that sound of so, and the natural sound of the exhale mirrors that sound. So either just simply working with the mental chant of so hum, perhaps including the sense of energy or visualization of energy moving up and down the bridge of the nose, and possibly also using the eyes, gazing towards the tip of the nose when the breath is down and out, and tracing the eyes up into Shambhavi Mudra, rolled up towards the brow at the peak of the inhale. continuing with the practice, and I'm starting to slow down both the inhale and the exhale. We're going to continue for one more minute. If you're feeling really solid in this practice, you can simultaneously continue the tracing of energy from the nose tip to the spot between the eyebrows. And you can simultaneously, as you're inhaling, trace energy from where your heel is pressing straight up through the spinal column to a spot at the very center of your head, straight back from the eyebrow spot, reversing that on the exhale. It's as though the breath is drawing the energy, the prana, up. And the breath eases it back down. There's a beautiful synchronization between the energy moving up in the nose and the energy moving up and down in the spine. Oh, wonderful. Relax your eyes, relax the mental chant, relax the breath, and delightfully relax your heel out of the perineum. Massage your knees and ankles. Be calm and still in your movements, noticing that tranquil state that the practice induces. The next thing we're going to do is going to require you to gaze at your monitor, at your screen on your computer. Ideally, the screen or monitor will be at about this level to your face. So if you need a minute to adjust where you're seated or where your monitor is, shift around. Also, you want to be about this far away from your monitor. So if you were touching it with your middle finger, that would be the exact right distance. And we're going to do what's called Tritaka, and which is a meditation technique that does many things, but very specifically activates the sixth chakra, activates our innate wisdom and knowledge. And we're going to use what's called a yantra to help do that. So it's similar to a mandala. So I'll give everybody another few seconds to get themselves all set up, and then I'll talk us through the beginning of this. We'll have Om chanting going on in the background. You don't need to chant along. It's just because that is the Bij mantra, the sound that's associated with the sixth chakra. So once you get situated, the eyes are going to be opened, but they're kind of droopy-eyed, and they're a soft focus. And you're going to start gazing at that center spot in your yantra. It's called the bindu, similar to that little dot, the bindu at the top back of the head. So you're going to start gazing towards the bindu, bindu, bindu. After a bit of time, you let your eyes expand outward so that they take in the triangles that surround bindu. Eyes are in a sort of dreamy, soft focus state. After a bit, the expanse of your gaze moves out to the circle that surrounds the triangles. Eventually, it will seem right for your gaze to expand out to those lotus blossoms, lotus petals that surround the circle. Start to let your inner wisdom guide you, expand out to the next circle when that feels right. And then eventually to the outer square with its handles. Enjoy gazing at the entirety of your yantra. And then you reverse the practice, slowly narrowing your gaze back into bindu as it feels right. And then eventually, after you've come all the way back into bindu, close your eyes and enjoy the after image. And there's no longer any after image to gaze at. And there's no psychedelic stimulation from gazing at the yantra. Then you simply open your eyes and repeat the process. To withdraw now out of gazing at the yantra. Sit with your eyes closed for a little bit. much of the time when people refer to the sixth chakra, the third eye, or that innate knowing, it's represented by a little sideways eyeball in the middle of people's foreheads, which leads to a misperception that that's the location of the sixth chakra. It's actually directly behind that, deep at the very center of the skull, sort of right above the top, where the topmost point of your ears are, and then deep into the center of your head. There's a spot in between the eyebrows called the eyebrow spot that is a castrum, or a way to help activate this actual chakra deep in the skull, because it's hard to feel, hard to be aware of. But after that practice and the preceding one, you may have a sense of a pulse or a beat or a pressure or an awareness deep in the center of your head. You might feel like there's a little spot of light there. That practice can create some strain in the eyes. Let's rub the palms together till they feel hot and cup the eye sockets. The fingers can overlap at that spot in between the eyebrows, softening the tissues there. When your palms don't feel warm anymore, just sort of brush them over your face and maybe do the whole thing one more time. Heat up your palms. Good. We also recorded the mantra that we're going to do next. And so it will be going, there'll be almost like a round robin of it playing. You'll hear two versions. You can feel free to join in and chant with whichever one feels comfortable. The chant is Sat Chit Ekam Brahma. So breaking that down, Sat, S-A-T, sounds a little more like S-U-T, Sat, which means truth, or maybe a better description is universal truth. Chit, C-H-I-T, is mind or intelligence, Sat, Chit. The next couple of syllables, Ekam, E-K-A-M, Ekam, which means one with no other. There's no second place, one. And the final word, B-R-A-H-M-A, Brahma, means the cosmos, the mental intelligence, the intelligence of the universe, of the cosmos. Kind of put that all together. So it's going to sound like this. Sat Chit Ekam Brahma. Find a comfortable way to sit. And then we'll inhale and start the chant. Sat Chit Ekam Brahma. 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 Sat Chit Ekam Brahma, 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 Sat Chit Ekam Brahma. In the week ahead, notice any time you get charged up, activated, agitated, irritated. Think of yourself as a little baby. Think of whoever the cause of the problem is. It's not, obviously not you. Also a little baby. And then realize every time something like that gets kicked up, it's a chance to break away part of our ego structure. You can think about the reticular activating system as an ego building system. It's great because our ego needs to protect us in this world. It's bad because it limits our ability to see the fullness of life's experience. Take every opportunity you can this week. When you get worked up about something, use it. Let it break down your ego structure. So what you start to find is your infinite self, the self that we tapped into today with the practices. Let's do a Sat Nam to take us on out. I bow to that infinite intelligence in each of us. Sat Nam. There is a Google Meet set up for after this for anybody that wants to say hi to me, hi to each other, ask questions, make suggestions. And I believe the link is posted on the Facebook page. Is that right, Brian? Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Go out there and change the world. We'll see you next week.